Hello Year 3 and welcome to Wednesday's lesson on literacy and our diary writing lesson. Now you can see I'm inside and I'm wearing a hat and a coat. And that's because I'm trying to channel my inner refugee. And when I put this on last time, someone said to me, oh, you look like you're from the 1940s, you look like you're an evacuee. So I thought I would try and get myself into the mind of an evacuee from 1940 and somebody who lived through the Blitz. So I'm trying to get into character and I'm trying to really imagine that I am a child from 1940s London. So I've got my hat, I've got my thick coat that I'm very proud of because this cost mum and dad a lot of money. So I had to keep it for best really, but I thought I'd show you anyway today. I've also got to carry around this. And this stinks, and it's really big, and it's really bulky, and I hate carrying this around. I've got a gas mask. And you know that we all had to have one of these, and we all had to have practices about if something would happen. And I really don't like wearing this because it really smells. But luckily, I haven't had to use it for real yet. So I've got my gas mask, which I'm just going to put down here. I've also got with me my identity card, and I have to carry this all the time. And that's because it tells people who I am and where I'm from. And I will get into a lot of trouble if I don't have this, if a policeman asks me to show them. So I have to make sure that I have this. So let's think about my diary then, Year 3. Well, my diary has got all my thoughts and feelings in it. My diary has got all the things that happened to me. And I talk to my diary about what things I'm worried about or what things I'm really excited about. And I talk about to my diary about things that are happening in the war. And it's a little bit like a story, but also it might give someone in lots of years' time, it might give somebody who reads it an idea of what it is like during World War II. So, get into that character, go and dress up if you want, be that character, think what you're going to be, and we will start our lesson in a moment when I share the screen with you and when I take off this coat, because it's going to be a bit too big and bulky to do a lesson with a coat on. I might leave a hat on though. I love this hat. Okay, so hopefully you will pause your videos because you're all now in the mindset of an evacuee, and we're going to start writing our story today. Writing our diary today, sorry, not our story. Story for last week. So today we are going to start, and our objective, and this is over the next 3 days, is to write a diary as a child in World War II. Okay, we are going to write in the past tense. We're going to write in first person. It's my diary, not somebody else's. Okay, so remember, I am writing the diary. And it's also to show an understanding of what would happen to a child during World War II. So it's about understanding what life was like. So maybe after school, they would come home and play games. They wouldn't come home and watch the telly. They certainly wouldn't come home and play on the Xbox. Okay, so it's understanding what life was like for those children during World War II. And of course, we are still expecting to see that VCOP in your writing, the vocab, the connectives, the openers, and the punctuation. Okay, this is your writing, and we're still expecting to see all of that in your writing. So let's have a little bit of a think. What's a diary for? Have a think. What is the diary for? Well, for some people, it's just a way of recording what happened to them during the day. For some people, it's a way of expressing their thoughts and feelings to people that they might not have been able to talk to about. And remember I said the other day, during the war, some people didn't like to talk about their feelings. So it was a good way of expressing feelings without having to talk to somebody. Who's going to read your diary? Well, unless you give them permission to, nobody's probably going to read your diary, okay, unless they find it. Which is, remember what happened to Anne Frank. Somebody found her diary And the man who found it hoped to give it back to her one day, but never found her. So that was why her diary was read. Okay, but somebody might never read your diary, but it might be your grandchildren. You might write this now, and your grandchildren might read your diary and discover what life was like for you. And what tense is a diary written in? Shout back at me. It is written in past tense. Well done. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our first extract. Okay, that first extract when we are describing what life is like for us in London. And I've written some sentences. London is scary because of the bombs. Mum and Dad are worried because houses keep on getting bombed. Today there was a bomb. It was bad. We have to leave London and that makes me sad. What do you think, Year 3? Can I do better than that? I probably can, can't I? So let's see. If I stop sharing that, I learned from my mistakes actually, Year 3, and I'm not going to do it on the whiteboard today for you because, as I said yesterday, I don't think it was very easy for you to see it. So bear with me. Okay, and I will share the screen. Yeah, okay, lovely. So I've got my writing here. London is scary because of the bombs. Mum and Dad are worried because houses keep getting bombed. Today there was a bomb. It was bad. We have to leave London and that makes me sad. It even rhymes, which I didn't mean it to. So let me get myself a red pen. Okay, London is scary because of the bombs. Well, first of all, can we think of a better word than scary? What do you think? I think London is terrifying because of the bombs. Okay, it's a better word, isn't it? Okay, let's think. London is terrifying because of the, let's try and get in a double adjective there, shall we? Because of the, what word can we use to describe the bombs? We could have the destructive, loud bombs. Okay, let's extend that sentence. Which land every night all over the city. Can't use London again, can we? Because we've already used London once in that sentence. So we're putting in straight away, we've got some historical knowledge in there, haven't we? London is terrifying because of the destructive loud bombs which land every night all over the city. Now, because it's a diary, let's add something in there about how we feel about it. I hate the bombs because I am scared that they will hit our house or my school. If you watched The Gentleman yesterday, remember he talked about having the air raid shelter in his school, didn't he? So let's have a look. I hate the bombs because I am scared that they will hit our house or my school. Scared, I'm not sure about that word because I am always worried that they will hit our house or my school. Mum and Dad are worried because the houses keep getting bombed. Should we think of a better word than worried now? I bet they're more than worried. I bet they have more than worry about being hit. So Mum and Dad are anxious because houses keep on getting bombed. Okay, today, so I've got my connective, but let's put it in a good opener. Earlier today, there was a bomb. What sort of a bomb? There was a terrible bomb. Okay, let's extend that sentence. There was a terrible bomb. Oh, it's about today wrong. I bet you've been shouting at the last video for ages, haven't you? Earlier today, there was a terrible bomb. What did that bomb do? That destroyed half of our street. Okay. It was what? It was truly awful, because remember, you're talking in your diary almost how you would speak. So we wouldn't say, oh my goodness me, I've seen a bomb, it was bad. Okay. Oh my goodness me, I've seen a bomb and it's destroyed half of our street and it was truly awful. Okay. What might have happened if it's destroyed half of that street? Or you might know the people in the street. Okay, so you could say it was truly awful and my friend Penny has lost her home. Luckily, where were they? They were sheltering in the Anderson shelter and weren't, because we can use contractions in our writing if we're writing things like a diary, because it's very informal. Okay, like I said, it's how we would speak. They were sheltering in the Anderson shelter and weren't hurt at all. So let's have a look at that little paragraph now. Mum and Dad are anxious because houses keep getting bombed. Earlier today, there was a terrible bomb that destroyed half of our street. It was truly awful, and my friend Penny has lost her home. What punctuation could we put at the end of that sentence? I think so. I think we could have an exclamation mark at the end of that sentence. Do you? It was truly awful, and my friend Penny has lost her home. Luckily, they were sheltering in the Anderson shelter and weren't hurt at all. Okay, this now means that you have to leave London. How does that make you feel? I am devastated because, using that word, that's because I am devastated because Mum and Dad have decided that I have to leave London. Okay, I'm devastated because Mum and Dad have decided that I have to leave London. Let's put another reason in there as well. I'm devastated because Mum and Dad, I know, let's have a short sentence. I'm devastated, exclamation mark. Mum and Dad have decided that I have to leave London because it is no longer safe and there are too many bombs going off every single night. Okay, so we've got thoughts and feelings in there. You're devastated. Mum and Dad have decided that I have to leave London because it's no longer safe. We've got that historical information. There are too many bombs going off. So we can take this bit out, can't we? Okay, so what do we know? Learning from our lesson on Monday afternoon, you have a list, don't you, of things that you have to take. So we could add that onto our diary entry, couldn't we? So I have, in a different colour. I have packed my suitcase and it is full of, maybe you could underline that if it was in your handwriting. Okay, it is full of all of my things. Okay, were they allowed to take much with them? No, but maybe once you've packed everything that you need, you would have put some extra things in there as well, wouldn't you? I have put my clothes and my best dress into it, and have put my favourite book and a photograph of Mum. Okay, let's have a look. I have packed my suitcase and it's full of all my things. I have put my clothes and my best dress. Let's think of a double adjective. My best expensive dress into it. And I've put my favourite book and a photograph of Mum and Dad. Okay. How would you feel now that you're getting ready? Remember all those people that have talked about going and being evacuated? Remember we said those children, they might have two different feelings. Okay, so I am so excited about travelling on a train. I have never been to the countryside before, exclamation mark. But I know I will miss Mum and Dad. I will worry about them. So do you see, we started off with that really short sentence, and now we've got half a page of diary extract. Let's read it together. London is terrifying because of the destructive loud bombs which land every night all over the city. I hate bombs because I'm always worried that they will hit our house or my school. Mum and Dad are anxious because houses keep getting bombed. Earlier today there was a terrible bomb that destroyed half of our street. It was truly awful, and my friend Penny has lost her home. Luckily, they were sheltering in the Anderson shelter and weren't hurt at all. I am devastated. Mum and Dad have decided that I have to leave London because it is no longer safe and there are too many bombs going off every single night. I've packed my suitcase and it's full of all my things. I have put my clothes and my best expensive dress into it and have put my favourite book and a photograph of Mum and Dad. I'm so excited about travelling on a train. I've never been to the countryside before, but I know I will miss Mum and Dad and I will worry about them too. So we've got a good extract there now, haven't we? So we've gone from this, London is scary because of the bombs, Mum and Dad are worried because houses keep getting bombed. Today there was a bomb, it was bad. We have to leave London and that makes me sad. Okay. In that new extract, I've written in first person. I've used I, we. I've written in the past tense. I've written about how my friend Penny's house was destroyed. I've included my thoughts and feelings about how I feel about going and being an evacuee and how I feel about leaving London. Have I used time connected? I did, didn't I? And did I write in chronological order? Yes, I have. And important for us, have I used that historical information, my historical knowledge? Have I used that? Yes, I have. Oh. Okay, so let's just go through our VCOP one more time. I know you know this. I know that you know this. But let's just remind ourselves of the different things that we can have in a really good piece of writing. So our vocabulary, that's double adjectives, that's leveling words. So that's thinking about that word happy or sad or ruined or awful and just thinking what is a better word that we can use. Conjunctions are making our sentences longer. They're giving us that more information. And, but, so, when, if, that, because, although, after, before, as well. And there are lots more, aren't there? Conjunctions make our sentences longer and they give our reader that extra bit of information. Openers. Where has something happened? You could start with that. How has something happened? Quickly, scarily, sadly. Okay. And time. When did that happen? Earlier today. Yesterday evening. This morning. After lunch. All those different openers, which is instead of writing then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And punctuation, those capital letters and full stops, using commas and question marks and exclamation marks. When you're writing a diary, I think because you're writing about your own thoughts and feelings and things that happen, you could write quite a lot with exclamations in. Now, we don't want exclamation marks in every sentence because then it loses its impact. But if we're writing a sentence that is shocking, or if we're writing a sentence that we want someone to take a notice of, then an exclamation mark is a really good way. Okay, so that is what you're going to do today, Year 3. You are going to get in the mind of your evacuee. You are now an evacuee in 1940s London, and you are describing to somebody just what it is like to live in London during the Blitz. It's not fun for most of you. It will be very dangerous for a lot of your families. You're going to write your first diary extract today about life in the Blitz. Think of all that information that we have learned all this term about what life was like for people in war in London in 1940s. Okay, think of all those thoughts and feelings. How does it make you feel? You might have mixed feelings. You might have different feelings. Okay, but you are only going to do the one piece today, and that is about life, living in the Blitz and living through the Blitz. And we're going to finish it by discovering that you are going to be evacuated. And that is where your diary extract is going to finish today. Have a lot of fun with this, Year 3. It's a really clever thing if you can put yourself in somebody else's position. It's called empathizing, and it's a really clever thing to be able to do. So enjoy it. Get all that historical information in there as well, and we look forward to reading your final diary later on in the week.